Yo, welcome to the Scoop with Dukes Live. I'm your host, Philip Dukes, aka Dukes the Scoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes the Scoop. And please be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Yes, I am still um, remote. I'm still in Fort Lauderdale. So, um, yeah, I got to bear with me with this setup, this travel setup I have for a little while longer. But so ESPN comes out today. Oh, and as you guys come in, drop your location, drop where you coming in from, drop where you from, your area code, your city, your state, drop whatever. But I thought it was worth it to get in here and talk about what ESPN put out today, that their sources say that Caden Salter will be starting. Dayton, Ohio Sports Convo with Chris, Apollo 06, Jonesboro. Hey, that ESPN put out the big money one. That so the other day when I said I was gonna call you, I should have, but Apostle, that's basically it. Cuzzo, what's up, Tracy? Brooklyn, New York in the building. Noah a lot for Texas. I like that Noah a lot. 912 in the building. Arlington, Charlotte. That's the 704, I think. But yeah, man, y'all know this ain't. I'm not finna give y'all no a whole bunch of stats or nothing like this. Just for the fam to get in here and talk about it and see how they feel about who should be the quarterback this week. Everybody's open to their own opinion. We just try not to get in here and just try to openly bash people. You can be critical without bashing folks. That's what I would. That's all I would say. I got no problem with being critical. I do have a problem with bashing people. You just ain't have, you just because you can get your point across without doing that. My boy Paul Rollins in the building. Dallas, Houston. Brandon said, "What up, dude? What up, Brandon?" Noah Lot says, but yeah, and I want y'all to be open. So, what's y'all opinion on the quarterback situation? Um, if I had to bet money, last week I thought it was going to be Salter. I didn't really think like the last day, and as much as I love Star and the story and everything, I continue to say this, but the last day, Friday on the morning run, I was like, I think K Salter gonna start. Not just because I thought he was the best option, but he literally proved it, during the fall that he was, in fact, probably the best option at that time. I don't think that he forgot how to play quarterback. And then when they pulled, and even when he came out of the game, he was 13 out of 16, if I ain't mistaken. So the more and more, hold on, we got a couple shout outs. Somebody said, dudes, Miss Dawn Duncan, what's happening, Miss Dawn? Noah Lott said, I'm with you. Yeah, so hindsight being 2020, if Staub would have killed it and went out there and looked like Baker Mayfield in his Heisman season or Johnny Manziel that year, then yeah, you would have been justified. But at this point, I really think not hindsight. Now, of course, you can look at it from this perspective. X in the cut. What's up, big dog? Appreciate you for catching the live. And what I really believe is this is Coach Prime's way to get his attention. I think it was the way to get Juju. I think this was Coach Prime's way of getting Salter and Juju's attention. I mean, to be honest, I believe Salter's probably the best option. Ju is 17 years old still. Ju don't turn 18 till next week. But I think Ju is probably has the highest upside, probably in the quarterback in the Big 12, upside wise, just to be honest. Like, he has a tremendous ceiling. But right now, to win the game against Wyoming, I think you got to go Salter. The Staub experiment, I think, this is my opinion. Now I got some sources, of course. I've been around the program. I've been around Coach Prime. I was just out there a couple weeks ago, got to sit down, eat lunch with him. So I I got a pretty good idea. Coach Prime is not lost as a talent evaluator at all. I think people get it be like, oh, how did Coach Prime miss this? He's not he's not a guy that's gonna be bound by talent. He's a guy that believes in what he believes in. Coach Prime believes in not just being talented, but by doing everything that it takes to be a leader and a dog. Repeatedly in that press conference, he said consistency and leadership. They asked him as many times as you can ask. Consistency and leadership. Cool. That's what Salt Not Playing was about. He gave you the answer right there. So there was a lapse in. Now we're looking at the gameplay, right? And this ain't saying that fans are wrong or we shouldn't look at the gameplay. You're supposed to look at the gameplay, and you're supposed to have your opinion based on the gameplay. Because Prime is looking from a different. He's looking at it from a different lens, and said, "Okay, we win the game tomorrow, but if we win tomorrow, does that cripple? If we win tomorrow, not doing everything the right way, does that cripple us down the line?" That's my opinion of how you even got here. If you look at the well-off media video where Coach Prime was shouting out Tawfiq Bayard, he had a really pointed conversation in front of everybody saying that, hey, look, Tawfiq, got down, had an injury, he was doing well. And then the next part was he kind of got down in the dumps, kind of got in his feelings a little bit, and then he bounced back, and then he took advantage of his opportunity. What people don't now, this is an underrated fact about Coach Prime. That man will lose a ton of games to prove a point to those young men in that locker room. You won't play if you don't do it the right way. And I'm not saying Salt just did something like, I'm not saying he's like a cancer. I'm not saying none of that. What I'm saying is the message that he's sending is the way you do anything is the way that you do everything. And I think people have this idea, Coach Prime, that it's, oh man, TV, gold chains, clothes, shoes, expensive cars, must be the money, all of that. That man, that man run that program like it's the military, dog. He don't play. He does not play. It's guys right now that should be that have the talent to start that won't start because they won't go to class. It's guys on that team right now that probably should be getting more playing time, but because they continue to miss meetings and they continue to miss weight and they continue to not do what they're supposed to do off the field, they won't play. Simple as that. So I think people get that misconstrued. He don't play. Like, have you not seen Cormani McClain? He never forgot. He was a 5-star. He a 5-star today. Whatever it was, and he never wished no bad on Cormani. But Cormani wasn't a fit for the program at the time. You think Colorado couldn't use Cormani at cornerback too? And I'm not saying that everybody left Colorado was a discipline problem or wasn't a culture fit, but there have been some that just weren't culture fits. This man is literally willing to be like, all right, look, I'll start whoever does it right. So, I just want to make sure we put that out there. That being said, I think Kaden Salter is the man for the job. I think Coach Prime got his attention. I think you've done enough. Now, you got the guy in the saddle. He knows everything's got to be in line. I got to be a leader 100% of the time on and off the field. This is the guy. He's going to be the guy. I think there's a role for Staub. I said it the other day. I think he can be like your closer, your pinch hitter, your 2-minute offense guy. You need some electricity. Like Vinny Johnson, right? They call him a microwave. Come in, heat it up real fast. I can see that. But, I think this is one of those things where, let's say Coach Prime doesn't get the best quarterback out of this. He's going to get the best man out of it. Now, I'm not saying Caden Talton not going to come out here and ball, but Kurt got a good one. He said, what do you think that messes with Salter's confidence? Or do you think that will mess with Salter's confidence? Salter's in a position to where it could mess with your confidence. But if Salter is who Coach Prime thinks he is, and who I think we all think he is, he'll be fine. Sometimes you got to get a dog attention. And sometimes perfect example. This is a true story. Today on the beach, me and Cam training. And Cam, he doing straight. But I'm watching, I'm like, and I'm telling him, like, look, dog, you doing good. You doing about a B, right? And I just, like if I had to grade you, you would be a B this season. And he was like, a B? He looked at me crazy, like, all these tackles I'm making, I'm a B? And when I tell you, he got so mad, and he started to really go off, like in training. He really just focused. He really locked in, because he was like, and he told me, he's like, Dad, I'm an A guy, Dad. Okay, well, cool. But I had to get his attention. I think these are still young men. Quarterbacks, kickers, cornerbacks, anybody who's on that island, sometimes you got to get their attention. Whether or not that we agree with the tactic, maybe not. But now hey, man, if somebody tells you to run instead of pass the ball in this situation, you need to run. If somebody says, if you see this check, you need to make this check. And I think now that same level of accountability that you're asking for from the players, you got to see that from the staff. And I think you will. I think you got to see that same level of accountability where it's like, all right, cool. Are we putting our guys in the best position to execute? We're asking them to execute. We're doing a lot of things for the guys. Are we putting them in the best position? If you don't think Coach Prime is I'm just telling you, any head coach worth his salt is going to evaluate at the top when things aren't going right. Because even when things don't go right at the player level, maybe it's not being taught in the right way. So I think that it's really, like a way. Hold on, I just seen something. Hold up. Let me see. Zero Flower said, why was Buffy and Prime hating on you? I asked, do he like your videos? He go in saying you unemployed and cry to Prime. All right. So y'all see, I do not bother this man. I don't know why this man, but I'm going to leave that alone. But as I continue to enjoy my time on my own live, sometimes you got to go out of your way to get somebody's attention. And I think that now, with K-Salt knowing what's really going on, this is where you start to see him grow. I'm not, what the I got to worry about, I'm not responding. But that's a perfect example of growth and maturity. When somebody wants you, like when somebody really wants you to say something, for what reason, whatever reason, right? I could take the immature route or I could take the mature route. It's the same thing like K-Salt, right? K-Salt can really just say, you know what? Because there's people out there with this same type of mentality that you just saw pop up. that would say, "Oh man, Coach Prime embarrassed me. I'm gonna try to embarrass him back. Oh man, Coach Prime, I would never take another snap for Colorado." I've seen people say that about K-Salt. But the mature thing is to say this: what do I have to lose? This is K-Salt's opportunity. He's a senior. NFL scouts are looking. Him being able to show that he can take a situation like this and turn it into something better is going to make people respect him even more. So, and that's the same, and I'm going through the same thing. You think I don't want to say something to, anybody, but I got a golden opportunity what I'm doing right here. Like, I'm literally in Miami for a week. Fort Lauderdale. I've been here for a week. And I've been able to still get on here and record content. Like, and promote the brands and do whatever I want to do and do it the way I want to do it. This is a golden opportunity. Why would I squander that? And so I feel K-Salt in a way, and I think he's going to ball. The same way that I'm going to ball. And so I thank God for that opportunity for me to share that. I thank God for that, because it takes growth and it takes maturity. It's just like with the Falcons. Young Way Koo misses the field goal. They bring in a new field goal kicker. If something happens to that kicker and Koo gets called upon, he's got to be ready. If you're the guy, you got to be ready. If you're the guy, you got to stay ready. And I think that's what's in front of Salt. So, yes, it can be emotional. You can read the tweets. You can see a lot of people saying the negative things. You can hear people saying, Prime don't like you. Prime is a hater. Prime is this, Prime is this. K-Salt's got to block all of that out right now and continue on the path that he was on. He came to Colorado for a reason. He could have stayed at Liberty. He could have went to other schools. He came to Colorado for a reason. Why would you if you're on a journey of 1,000 miles, why would you let a bump in the road knock you off your course? I'm talking to myself too. You feel me? Like, and that's what it's about. And this just ain't me, like, because y'all, I want y'all to understand something. The community that we've built, I don't care if it's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I done a lot of things in my life. What makes this community real community is that we sit in here, we get here, and we learn from each other, and we talk ball. There are going to be times where you test it. In your work life, with your kids, people around you, haters, it don't matter. It's going to be people that test you. You cannot allow yourself to let a bump in the road knock you off your journey. So this ain't just for me. This ain't just for K-Salt. That's what's so beautiful about the game of football, and that's what's so beautiful about community. We could take a situation like we in right now. We saw some negativity come. What did we do? We banded together and we got it up out of there. We ain't tripping. We're going to send them same positive vibes to K-Salt and anybody else. Hold on, Will A's got a good one right here. Salt has to just commit to the hard and the difficult. This test is the biggest of his career so far and will come from all angles possible. Steel mind, strong heart, no quit. Let's roll. There we go. Steel mind, strong heart is what it's going to take. Hold on, we got super chat in here. Fire Company said, $4.99. We need these dogs to be dogs. Those dogs to be dogs, not no pups. K-Salt was brought to see you to be elite, not average and just okay. There's money on the flow. Money on the flow. Hello? Who money is it? The flow money? Whoever want it. That's who money it is. We got another super chat, $99, man. Shout out to Tracy Cole. Cuzzo, man, I appreciate it. She said, we appreciate you, Mr. Deuce. Oh, man, that's too much love. No, I appreciate y'all, man. Like, trust me. You know, I have my days, and you know, y'all done seen me get out of character before, but man, I'm just so appreciative of where I am in my life right now. That I can't let nobody, like, you know, we got a saying in the hood, but you don't let nobody trick you off the street. You don't let nobody trick you out your spot. How crazy is that I get this sponsorship right when I'm almost finna go on the internet and crash out? That wasn't no mistake. You think that wasn't coming from somebody else? You don't think that was an attack? It's something big. You know what I'm saying? You can't let nobody take you out. You can't let nobody trick you out your spot, man. So Tracy, I appreciate that. VI Vision said, "What's up, VI?" He said, "Dukes, what you think honestly about the play calling?" Honestly, I think you got to stick. I think if it's me, if I had something to do, I would run the ball. I would want to see more runs behind Seaton. I haven't went and broke down this is a basic eye test. And I always preface when I talk about somebody else's play calling, I always say, I preface this by saying that the guys calling the plays will forget more football than I'll ever learn, right? With that being said, I would just like to see a more consistent run attack, right? That's what I would like to see, for sure. More consistent run attack, and I guess play calling defensively. Probably maybe a little more zone sometimes. Maybe some fire zone, something just to kind of the rattle the quarterback, and maybe something to help on the edge a little bit, and to send things back up the alley. If I had anything to say. Man, Miss Fat said haters will always be around to make the light shine brighter. Man, let me tell you something. One thing about a hater, and you know, and this ain't just, we ain't talking about that one person, we talking about anybody. You gotta understand, sometimes, bro, without hey, listen, bro, it's called a player hater. Bro, no players without a hater, no player. You feel me? You wouldn't know what a player was if it wasn't no haters. And that ain't that ain't just aimed at nobody. That's period. That's in your life. Whoever is around you that that's shooting these little shots of negativity or whatever it is, just understand, like, that means that you're doing something right. We got another super chat. Your sister checking in. What's up, Cheryl Dukes? $20 super chat, man. I appreciate it, for sure. Shoot, might need you to pick me up from the airport tomorrow, for sure. Jordan Smith, and y'all drop. What do y'all want to see? What would y'all like to see from this game plan? This ain't just me. George Smith said, I think Simeon needs 20 plus carries a game. I like his game. I like his game too. A really good pickup, right? Really, really good pickup, man. I would like to see him get more carries. I would like to see. I would like to see one game. I would like to see like a 45 carry game. I know that may be a lot to ask for, but maybe like 15K salt, 10, 10 to 10. I would just that's like a dream scenario, right? 45 carries, 15K salt, 10, 10, 10 from the running backs. And I want to see, you know what I want to see though? For real, I would like to see a couple more jet sweeps. Just to let them know that it is there. Joe Lark said, "How come it's hate with black people when you tell the truth of how bad they coach?" I think how bad somebody coaches is opinion, and I don't necessarily think it's hate. Cindy J said, "Blessing Dukes of Scoop family." Shout out to the fam. You already know we got the fam sweatshirt on here. The fam in the building. Kazi said, Price has that SET. Yeah, running tough, explosive. Yeah, man, for sure. Busy B said all the wide receivers in the NFL and defense that could actually stop the run, and they had less last year. You tripping? I mean, you look at some of the players. I think they're saying from what they're saying, it's a depth perspective. Like some of the guys that you bring in, maybe your 1 through 5 is better than your 1 through 5. The sum of your 1 through 5 this year is the better than the sum of your 1 through 5 last year, which is to say more about your 3, 4, 5 than it does your 1, 2. If that makes sense. But yeah, I definitely would like to see Gibson. Man, I want to see some Cam Michael. I'm so ready to see Cam Michael. I don't care if it's at safety. I don't care if it's at wide receiver. I don't care if it's at running back. I'm ready to see Cam Michael. That's what I'm ready to see. For real. I'm ready to see that guy. It's some guys, and there's some guys who ain't even really played. They got like some real talent, man. You know what I'm saying? That for whatever reason, like we won't know. My like one of my biggest concerns coming into the season, if you follow the channel, was linebacker. I wanted to see who was going to step up at linebacker because I felt like you had really two really good wheels. I felt like French and Hughes were like more suited to be weak side type guys, and you needed that traditional Mike. Is Montrez Walker ready? I mean, maybe he you just don't know. But you want to see that quarterback, that traditional Mike, almost that neck roll type guy, right? That's what I think you would want to see from that position. But yeah, I think as far as depth wise, you got a lot of pieces. But this could be one of those teams that it takes a little while for them to gel, which ain't no bad thing. You know what I'm saying? I think I saw Michael last week. Yeah, Okunlola. I think Okunlola hurt too. Hold on, let me check something out. 1 second. He said you still in Miami for sure. Broward County to be exact, not really Miami. Still in Broward. Jay Tweezy 79 said, I would like to see a running back get 100 yards a game, get a 100-yard game, and for K-Salt to get back to what made him good at Liberty and playing free without overthinking everything. Yeah, for sure, man. Look up the definition. Let's find out. We'll go together. Cause that's a word. I'm a word nerd for sure. Let me see. Egregore. I'm gonna read it first before I put it. Whoa. Man. Hey, boy, what you got me on? Hold up. Look at the definition. Boy, that's a word. Hold up. I'm looking for it in the dictionary. Let me see. Woo! Well, that's a deep one. All right, Sean. Hey, Sean, you gotta put me down. Hey, why I just read it. Why you wanted me to look that up? Help me out, Sean. I'm trying to make sure we ain't trying to summon nothing. Hey, man, I'm blood gang, blood of Jesus over here, buddy. A1 Sports said, "That's a word. Yeah, you got to look it up." Hey man, hey. I'm just trying to make sure, man. Yeah, 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 shoot, man. I might need some help with that one. But yeah, man. So what else y'all want to see from looking for the loss? Hey man, Savage said, "Yep, that's what we on." Yeah, man. I'm from where I'm from. They turned where I'm from into a Crip neighborhood. So I'm just as neutral as can be. Too old, first of all. And the crazy part is now that's never mind, I ain't even gonna go there. But yeah, it's a lot of dudes, you know what I'm saying? I stay out the way. That's what I do. Stay out the way, out the way. Miss Don Duncan said, "No, you don't let that stay where it is." But yeah, man, shoot, yeah, that word threw me off a little bit. I thought it was gonna say something. I had no idea where that was going. Katie said he has to become more vocal so the team will follow him. Okay, I can go for that. A lot of people was worried about his body language on the sideline. I wasn't really too concerned about his body language on the sideline. Hey man, what y'all laughing at, man? I ain't it. Man, I know y'all be like, "What dudes?" You saying Tusi get that D1 offer Sac State? Yeah, I sure did. Tusi trained with stepping them with TJ from Top Chef. Contextual precision said, okay, Mickey said, why are they putting CU late night games? I don't know. I know it's gonna be a prime time game, so it's gonna be. I don't think. Let me see. What's the big prime time game this week? Let me see. Oh, that's a late game. Yeah. Well, I tell you, yeah. I remember that first Colorado game that was that late. Everybody was watching. That's the game to watch. Michigan State at Southern Cal, come on at 11. Cal and San Diego State. Yeah, that's the game to watch late. It's gonna be people up. But yeah, man, you gotta, man, they gotta have. So in order to win, be honest, like Wyoming ain't coming in there to lay down. So Wyoming play Utah real tough for a half. Utah scored 14. They really ain't put the game away till the fourth quarter. So I mean, it was like 17 nothing in the third, late third, but Dampier didn't really take off until that second half. So yeah, I mean, they're gonna have a chip on their shoulder. You feel me? Apostolo 6 said, bro, when we getting them fan shirts so we can promote you more. Man, you know what? I appreciate that. Let's get them this week, dog. Let me get another run of these. Let's start. Let me see. Now let me be for real. It probably take like a week to get a box. Let's say like the first of the month for sure. Yeah, Jordan said we got to make a statement against Wyoming. Yeah, you got to make a statement. Yeah, this is a statement game. You got to go ahead and kick the. Yeah, you got to go belt two on this one, right? You absolutely want to. I think you got to pin your ears back and go tell these folks like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? This, that, right? You got to tell these folks. This is that. Because if you don't, now it's not even just how you go about it. It's the body language. Like you want to see these guys return to playing Colorado football. I think now you're an opportunity to get these folks to play that Colorado football. I think it's time. But you got to tackle. Like it's some of the stuff like I know everybody wants to blame the coaching staff. And I think they share a lot of blame as well. When a team loses, it's everybody. It's not just the players. It's everybody. But you can clearly see, all right, maybe could you go with the run more? Maybe could you go with zone more? Maybe could you tackle better? It's almost like that chicken versus the egg conversation, right? Is the play call good or is the execution bad? Or is the execution bad because the play call wasn't good? Those two things are always kind of like you'll never really understand until you get good execution. And then you'll know if you see guys tackling and they just out of position and guys are wide open, you know it's the play calling. If every time, if you see people doing their jobs or you see guys making blocks and you see guys, they don't, guys blocking and they still not being able to stop what's going on, it's probably the play calling. So I think as long as you kind of got that blurred line, you'll never be able to tell which one it really is. But they got to wrap up. Right, the nigga said Dukes let Chico know he need to read all the super chats on the morning run. All right, I'll tell him for sure. Offense and defense is too predictable. No disguises. Yeah, it seemed like sometimes you can kind of tell, but then too after the game, you know ball though. You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying. But yeah, you kind of know ball. Sometimes I think good football fans, they be like, all right, well, it's predictable because I can know it. But two, you probably pretty good at you probably know ball after the game, to be honest. Intensity is important. Yeah, they gotta be intense, for real. 1000% K Sutton with a great one. Right here. The fans need to cheer Salter when he comes on the field. Show him some love. Absolutely. Good money. What's happening? Man, can we get a slot corner beside? I said a slot corner because, man, I think you got to put Hodge. I think really and truly, either you got to leave a linebacker there and let him play outside leverage because they're killing him across the middle, really. And that two-way go been hurting him. So I think it's just one of those things where you get back to basics. We've seen him perform well in that position. This year, he's just been having a rough year. I don't know if it's one of those things where it's like a kicker or a closer or a pitcher. Like when they lose their fastball, or the curveball isn't working, nothing works. So I think this could be a good game to get some confidence. Ran 67. What's happening, my dog? Colton Hood is definitely missing. Man, Hood ball. I talked to him the other day. It's like my little nephew, man. You know, me and his uncle Rod go back. We went to Auburn together, man. So I've been good friends with their whole family for a long time, man. I'm so proud of Colton, just the way he handled everything too, man. Shout out to Colton, man. Yeah, Branch is another guy that you want to see. You know what I like to what I saw that I did like. Alex McPherson and London Merritt, they talked about Coach Prime talked about, saying that they expect freshmen to play. But it is refreshing to see two young guys coming in being able to play like the way they have at such a physical position, ready to go against grown men. London Merritt and Alex McPherson, man, two guys who came late in the class. You got them late, but two are they're really doing their thing, and that defensive line is one of the strengths of their team. So that's that. After the game, said he should have given Brandon a scholarship. Hey man, we talk about that a lot too, man. Like in the recruiting world, they talk about quote unquote package deals, and everybody got different perspectives on the package deal. I was talking to a team today that it's a couple. Every year is going to be brothers that get recruited, and it's going to be a guy. You can go all the way back to Derek Brown and Cam Brown. Y'all remember Derek Brown from Auburn, his brother Cam Brown, and some teams take hard stances against that. I ain't saying Colorado did, but people go. They talk about package deals. It's like, hey, we can't offer a 2-for-1. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes, man. Going forward, some schools, hell yeah, if you got a D tackle, quarterbacks and D tackles, yep, take them. Generational type guy, yep, we'll take the brother too. But then some guys, some teams don't feel like that. Now, I'm not gonna go speak on the record on what happened with that situation because I really don't. I wasn't there, but I will say that different teams got different perspectives when it comes to package deals. Good Money said, "What do you think CU could do better to stop the run? Been struggling to defend backs and quarterbacks that run inside." I think really, man. I think drawing up the keys better. Understand, like for people to understand, like where and what to be. Our discipline has to be better. People, and when you got intuitive linebackers, like the linebackers got to just go do their job regardless of what. Like do your job regardless. Don't try to feel it out. And sometimes you just got to have guys in there that's going to the gap that's going to make the play regardless. You got to win some of the one-on-ones in order. Like now, I'll say this: execution-wise, you got to win. And when you win, it like sometimes a win may be a linebacker who's supposed to spill, so the next guy can make the play. Well, if I try to bend to make the play myself and I don't spill, then I'm not gap sound, and they're running straight through the 2 or the 3 or wherever the player is going when I didn't spill the block. And I did see that. So you can just tell like sometimes like when your run fit's got to be better. And sometimes you have to be a certain type of line. It takes a certain type of dude to go say, you know what, my run fit may mean that I got to meet this fullback. I got to meet this guard. I got to meet this pulling guard. And I think it's a level of intensity. Now, if you see like, all right, well, we can manhandle, then maybe you got to get your splits better on the defensive line. So it's a lot of things that I think that you could do. I think Rob Lipston has an idea. I think some zone would help, though, just with the quarterback runs because they're running routes and cornerbacks are turning their backs and they're not able to support. I think sometimes when you have good tackling corners, like Colorado has bigger corners, well, they can support you in the run game if they're there. So I think sometimes when you're running these guys off, they run guys off the ball, and you don't get as much help from the secondary because they are playing a lot of man. So I think some zone can help too as well. Kenneth Hudson said, "Hey Dukes, have you seen people hating on Coach Prime having Ice Cube at practice?" No, I ain't really seen. I ain't seen it, but man, no, they hated Jesus, boy. It don't matter what you can do. I made a tweet yesterday, like Dabo Swinney. Man, do you realize Dabo Swinney since 2011 won 10 games, at least 10 games every year since 2011. And he felt the need to go say, if y'all want to fire me, fire me. I'm gonna just go win somebody else because it's people like when he lost to Georgia Tech, it's like, oh, get him out of here. He can't do it no more. It's over with. That man done won 10 games. Over the last 14 years, he only had a less than 10 game winning season one time, and that was 9. So, man, listen, like I said earlier, like people gonna hate, man. And you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it because, like I say all the time, man, fans is short for fanatic. That means like people like go overboard about this stuff, and it's an overreaction every day, and that's why we able to come on here. That's why at 11:15 at night we in here talking football. You know, as we fans, we fanatics, we love it. It is not regular. Like college football fans are probably the craziest fans in the world, followed by football, followed by basketball. You know, so yeah, man, you just got to take it with a grain of salt. Sunfire Brown, what's happening? Man, y'all like how mature I sound, man. Yeah, man. I sound proud of myself. Sound very mature. Do it. Hey man, I've been praying, man, because boy, ooh. Hmm. You know, a lie don't care who tell it. Sometimes you just gotta let them, you gotta let a lie be told. You gotta stay prayed up, dog. Rain 67 could start cracking up. Ohio 38, what's happening? Shador question. You think he plays this year for any team? I think he'll play for the Browns. I think he in the perfect. Oh, you know what, y'all? When y'all get finished, man, go check out that video I just dropped. I was talking about the Cam Newton situation, where Cam Newton said the Eagles and the Eagles and the Ravens had they turned. I guess Shador turned the Eagles and the Ravens down to get drafted by the Browns. And there's not a path to playing time behind Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts immediately. And this is somebody who thought they were going to be a top 5 or at least a first round pick, with the ability to play year one. But I think it's working out perfectly. I wouldn't want to play in that murderer's row of a schedule that Cleveland has to start the season. The Bengals, the Ravens. Now you got the Packers. The Packers look like the best team in the league right now. So, yeah, I think you saw Dylan Gabriel get a snap. He's going to get the first crack at it. I think it's going to work out perfectly for Shador on the backside of that season for him to get his opportunity. And even if he gets limited opportunities towards the end of the season, all that's going to be really good film. Like, he's going to play. You got to play. It just ain't got enough quarterbacks. And them quarterbacks, I just don't – I see Shador playing this year for sure. Brown girl said, I saw your face. Man. Keep doing that, man. You see how God take you so far. Man, like I had another classmate die the other day. Man, shout out RIP Eddie Brewer, man. He came out 02, Banneker, man. Shout out to the Southside family, man. But, man, when you realize this, folks, like, we watching the news every day, like, man, people is really dying, and folks is crashing out about nothing. All right, buddy, like, or whoever. You can't let nobody knock you off your square, man. Imagine God called you home tomorrow and you have a heart attack. Lord forbid, you have a heart attack. You have a heart attack because you mad because somebody said something about you online. Somebody who you probably never meet, somebody who you probably never, who really ain't got no real problem with you, but just want to poke at you just cause, and you die. What you know how mad I'll be if I get to heaven and I be like, and God, I get the judgment day or whatever. And I'm talking to God, like, all right, this how, all right, he playing the tape back. And of all the things I done, I check out behind some junk like that. Man, I'd be so mad. That's how I get to thinking. I'd be like, man, you don't want to check out like that. Hey, buddy, that's nah, man. So if God told and this is something one of my buddies told me, man. And I try to remember this. Man, if God told you, all right, you got 24 more hours, how would you spend them? You wouldn't spend your last 24 studying no haters. No, nobody would know nothing. Nobody mad at you. You wouldn't be studying none of that stuff. So why would you do it not knowing that you got 24 more? Now, I'm preaching to myself because I'm still a work in progress because I still got a very hot temper. But at the end of the day, it's cooling off day by day, for sure. Yeah. Jay Tweedy said that fake outrage. Yeah, for sure. That fake outrage is crazy. Ohio 38 said, damn, I had one last summer. For real. You know what I'm saying? I bet, and first of all, Ohio 38, man, we appreciate you and we glad you're still here. But dog, man, just imagine if that would have been it, and you spent that day on some, you know what I'm saying, on something that didn't deserve that type of time. Cause I think I seen your ears turn around. Man, you know what's crazy? Man, look, I got a young man I'm trying to raise, man, and trying to teach him. You know what I'm saying? Like how to stay out of the way. Cause one day I ain't gonna be here. And he gonna be here, Lord willing. You know what I'm saying? It go the way it's supposed to. And so I want him to be able to operate and move around without nobody tricking him off the street. Cause, you know, he well taken care of. He a player. He handsome. You know, he play ball. He ain't gonna be hurting for nothing. You know, people don't like people. You know, you see how the Technicolor coat. Remember that? The coat? Man, they was willing to throw Buddy in a ditch. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be like that. Do better. That boy Dennis in the building. What's up, Dennis? Dennis said Buffs over BYU. You heard it here first. That boy Bruce Dwayne. That Joseph, exactly. That right, sir. Man, people be mad at you. You can't get caught up in it because you'll trick yourself out. If anybody know how far I came, my sister does. Like I'm work in progress, but man, I keep going back. I keep trying to work on it because at the end of the day, man, I know it's something for me. Like I might be able to tell somebody who was just like me, like, bro, man, just stay down, man, stay consistent, stay real, stay prayed up. It's gonna work out. But if you let your hands go, you go to get that pistol, you go to, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, you take penitentiary chances every time you put your hands on one of God's children. So you can't do that. Your life change when you learn how to protect your energy. Yes, it does. For sure. International Voice. What's up, man? Hey, we got some work to do. Man, shout out to International Voice. I know y'all saw in the other videos. Man, he got some really good gear. And so, like going forward, man, he's gonna be a sponsor of the show. So you're gonna see a lot more of him. You'll see the banner on here. So we probably start that next week. But yeah, shout out to International Voice. And if anybody else wants to sponsor the show, man, hit me. Let me know. But International Voice is gonna be one of the sponsors of the show. And man, we really excited about this partnership we got coming up. Good Money said, keep going, man. You a pro. Man, I appreciate it, man. Man, work in progress. Hold on, I seen the chat in here. Apostles. Hey, man, it's a couple people said you need to speak to them too. Derek Thomas, what's going on? Gennaro said, just hopped on. I only have one question. Which team will have more rush yards? Wyoming, CU. I pray it's Colorado. Honor the family said, I learned not to respond to BS. Man, it's hard to do now. Apostle said, my bad. I think Sabrina spoke. I think Tracy might have spoke. Keisha might have spoke. For sure. Oh yeah, man. I keep saying the merch coming, man. I just been running, man. You know, this the time of year I get real busy, so like I'm in and out of spots. So this next run I'm on finna be like this, like my little rest run right here before I start bouncing around the country. But I'm definitely gonna get it done. I'm making me a goal of the first October 1st. That's gonna be October my birthday month anyway. So me and Cam birthday in October. So you know we're gonna turn up Libra boys. I think Chico birthday in October too. Derek Thomas Dukes, what's the mindset of CU right now? All right, so I tell you what, for somebody that I did talk to over there, they anxious. I'll say anxious. Anxious to go. They feel like, man, you got me up. That's how they feel. Like, hey, you got me messed up. That's how they feel. That ain't us. We better than that. I think the guys are taking an approach like we so much better than that. Like, even if we don't like it, like there's nothing that's gonna keep these guys from like you're gonna see a different level of energy. I'll say the energy is high and they really feel like, bro, got me messed up. Ken Hunt say be they 10-16 for sure. Yeah, I'm 10-20. Oh man, hey, I'm October 20th too, brother. Brother, hey, that's why we linked up for sure. Yo, my birthday the 20th. King on the Throne said my cougar birthday in November. Man, shout out to her, man. For real. King on the Throne is wild. My partner too. He say something wild every day. I think he said something. He said something to me the other day that was so funny. Boy, you crazy. October 18th. Dominique Major 26 for sure. I think Chico the 29th. Platinum Rose, October 11th. That's Cam's birthday. Cam the 11th. I'm the 20th. Yeah, twin. Yeah, that's me and my partner, man. All right, y'all. We're approaching the hour. Shoot, I got to travel tomorrow. Gotta say goodbye, man. It's been a beautiful time down here, beachfront, man. I've been down here almost a week, but I'd be glad to get home and get back to business. So, yeah, man. Listen, y'all tripping in the chat, but yeah, man. Look, man, I appreciate y'all. Look, if you out, you out. You know what we always say: make it home safe. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure. Oh, another big shout out to Tracy, man. Tracy with that $99 super chat, man. I appreciated that. Ohio 38 with a $2 super chat before we get out of here. Was that Houston loss worse than Nebraska? No. 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 Hold on, that's a trick question. That Nebraska loss was so good because it sparked something in the team. Like they went out there and got whooped. Houston, I never felt like Colorado was gonna win the Nebraska game. That whole game, like Shiloh got hurt. I wasn't even covering Colorado at the time. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, rocking because I, you know, watching Prime and Shador and all them at the time. Man, nah. That was a bad one. But that game was so bad that it sparked some good. Let me say that. For sure. I go for that. Dukes and Salter to start. You think you're ready? I absolutely think you're ready. I think he's ready. So did. Yep. All right, we had an hour, man. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all like before I get up out of here. All right, y'all. Too much love. For sure.